It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
Beautiful.
All right, perfect. I'm Sam. That's Ani. Nice to meet you.
Oh, man, nice to meet y'all, too. My little son of a joint right there.
Man, I've been listening to that album since it dropped. That's an amazing album.
Thank you.
Of course. So I guess we'll start now. Thank you very much for coming on, man. You're a legend, and it's an honor to talk to you. I've been a fan for a while, so it's really great to talk to you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Bucked up. That's an ill play on words.
My name's Sam Buck. Kind of worked out perfect with my name.
Yeah. When I start drinking, I'm gonna say I get bucked up.
Perfect. Get it going. How'd you get Wais spelled W-A-I-S? I always wondered that.
Well, when I was younger, they always used to say I was a wise little dude, but when I was younger, I'm West Indian, so West Indian culture, hadn't hit that hard yet. And my middle name is Selwyn, but they could never say it for some reason. So they would say Selwise. They're little small little dude, Selwise, you know what I'm saying? And then, it kind of coincided with me, studying the lessons of the gods back in the days. And, it just kind of graduated to what it was.
It works perfect. We'll see. So I found out about you, and it's in the game. Was that your first solo debut album?
I want to say no. I want to say Gone Pimpin' was the first one. You know what I'm saying? But I can't really recall, so don't quote me on that. But I know that was one of the early ones. I think it was Gone Pimpin' was first.
Okay, because that's when I got into you. But your history is way longer than that. When I didn't even realize until I started studying you more, how ingrained in the game you had been for so long.
Yeah. It's been quite some time. It's been a nice ride. I grew up in hip hop. This is what it is.
How old were you when you started rapping?
Man, I want to say 13, 14.
All right. Who were your inspirations early on?
Wow, EPMD, Slick Rick, definitely Tretch. I think Tretch doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's one of the most intricate rappers as far as flows. And to be honest with you, outside of that, kind of more life experience. You know what I'm saying? More what was happening around me. Kind of a way to therapeutically deal with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel with, I do stand-up comedy, but it's like a passion and it's a way to put your work out. And when you find it at an early age, it's, some people don't find it till later, but it's good finding your passion young.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But you were one of the pioneers. I mean, you were coming. That's why I wanted to ask who you were listening to and who inspired you, is because, you were doing it before a lot of these rappers in the game now. And you inspired, you were doing the bringing New York and South sound together, way before anyone. And that's kind of a big deal in rap now.
Yeah. Tell them to give me my credit. I loved Too Short, still do. Shout out to Short. Love E40. Not even past tense. Love him. I love the Bay Area sound. I was in New York. I remember singing Ghetto Boy lyrics, and people thought they was mine. You know what I'm saying? I told them, no, this is the Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? I love Sir Mix-a-Lot. One of the first to be in the independent game, you know what I'm saying? And New York wasn't on that yet. If you didn't have a deal, you were considered, you were so good, why you don't got a deal? Type of thing. So I was already praising what was happening in Texas and what was happening underground in Bay Area, which is the West, and in Florida. So I was already, kind of up on that kind of wave from way before that. Even though I always kept my New York sound, I always love those cats, man. One of my favorites is Devin the Dude. You know what I mean? We did something together before. Try to work with him again.
Yeah, you had him on. Was that you had his feature on? Was that Pussy Rich that was off of?
That was on Pussy Rich. Yeah, Grits and Gravy.
That's a great. See, every one of you don't have a ton of albums out for the amount of time you've been, but your like discography, every single one is fantastic. Like it was really great going through again and re-listening to all of them. And then Son of a is you're killing it too. Like you're fucking reinventing your sound and every beat on that's different and unique and you're killing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. I wanted to, I think every era that I went through, I think people try to be the same person they were 10 years ago or the same person you were 12 years ago out of fear of losing their core fans. I can't rap to you right now about what I was rapping about at 17, 18, when I was on Profile Records. Like I can't give you that. I'd be lying to you. You know what I'm saying? So I try to give the world my truth and let them chop it up. If you fuck with me, fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna give you what's happening in my life or what's happening around me or what I'm seeing through my eyes at that moment. You know what I'm saying? In as much as real time as possible.
Is that why you wanted to stay independent and you felt the rappers who stayed independent is because you don't have to like stick to a sound if the label wants you to, like you can adapt your own shit?
Man, this cat's is spoiled in a sec. Could you imagine what could have been done if I could push a button and 500 DJs could get the record? I remember we used to have to, press up 500 pieces of vinyl times two because they needed two. That's 1,000 vinyls. And then you had to ship and handle them shits and send them out. So the cost was insane. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days. Nowadays, these cats get to push a button. Shit, independent is the way.
You think is it easier now to get your music found, even though it's a flooded market of, artists and shit?
Well, you just said it right. I was going to say it's a gift and a curse. It's way easier. There's cats now in the game that would never have the light of day in the older times. You know what I'm saying? The past and shit. But it is flooded. There's so much to choose from. How do you stand out? You know what I'm saying? I just think I'm doing something from New York that nobody else is doing. Nobody's rapping about the shit I'm rapping about from New York. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what makes me different. That's why people should gravitate to say, I'm over here doing something different. Look at me. You know what I'm saying?
Respect, because you've been doing it for you've been sticking with it for so long and doing your shit. And I do feel like there's a respect for artists who have been in the game longer, like artists who aren't young now, that there wasn't before. Like people actually living a life and then rapping about it is different than it's something that's kind of the new era or the new wave.
I love it. I love it now because I think that was a way of media and label controlling hip hop. Back, 90s, you hit 25, it was over. You know what I mean? 24, 25, you would consider aged out the game, Now there's a slew of cats that's just getting on at 37, 39, cats turning 43. And it should be like that because it's like that in all other genres. You know what I'm saying? As long as what you're telling, the story is dope and the music is great, none of that shit should matter.
Is that what happened to you? Because when you hit like 24, 25, were you like, shit, I guess I'm out of the game? No,
that's 24, 25. That's when, the early 2000s, that's when things started going real good, financially and touring and getting respect for all the stuff I had did in the late 90s and shit. So no, it was great for me. I never thought about stopping. What else I'm gonna do?
You've been doing it since 13. It's your passion. You love it. Yeah, of course. That was I'm from Massachusetts, and you always put love, into the mass artists, whether it be Term or Static. And that was a really, you were putting on. Boston doesn't get really thought about, I feel like, with rap, but I love the artists that would put them on and work with them. And that's kind of how I got more into you, like in the 2012s, 13s, when you were on Static shit. It's like, oh, I've recognized this name. And that's when I started learning about you and doing my research.
Yeah, man, those are my brothers, man. Term is Term. We call each other twin, you know what I mean? Because that's my brother, man. In arms and lyrics. Don't forget about Easy Money. Don't forget about Rex. I fuck with Millie's. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of great things coming from out of there. Bunch of names I probably forgot, but it's a mean hip hop scene. I feel like if you haven't went through that Middle East club and grabbed that mic, you ain't hip hop. You gotta go through that. You know what I mean? Because they'll keep it 100 with you with this.
It's true. That's Conway. Conway said the same thing. He said he knew that Griselda was something when they hit that Middle East stage. It's Boston has a different energy. How'd you get linked up in Boston? How'd you get linked up in Boston? How'd you meet up with all that? How'd you get in the scene?
I mean, well, we always, the type of sound that I always had always took us through Connecticut, Boston, Rhode Island, Vermont. That was always kind of a tour path. But I linked up with Static, and we did a tape together, and we just bonded, man. We were just so, alike in our levels of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So we had the same level of crazy, you know what I mean? So that linked up, and then, Term and connect to my brother Primo, and Term, that whole respect that Term gets. We just linked up like that, and we're just a mutual respect for talent and a mutual respect for each other as men.
Do you miss the live performance going on tour now that we can't do it right now? Do you miss going up on stage?
Yes, I always tell people that's when it's pure. That's when the business of music ceases to exist. For that one moment, however long you on stage, it's just you and the people. You know what I'm saying? And you cursing the sound man out for fucking up your mic. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. But I should say bucking up your mic, right? You bucking up the mic. So that's when it's pure, at least for me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, there's no contracts don't matter, the residuals, the publishing, none of that matters. You know what I'm saying? It's you and the people. I think that's the purest form.
We were talking about the flood of artists now and how it is like you press a button and your record can go everywhere. I feel like there is a lost respect for the live performance now. Like I still go to I went with before all this, I would go to concerts, and I don't know. There's a difference when an artist really wants to perform versus then just it's a check, so I'm going to go on stage type shit.
Well, there's always been good performers and bad performers. You know what I'm saying? But I would say you got a lot of people that now, I don't want to use the word spoiled, but I think that's all I could think of. They kind of spoiled with the swiftness of their growth. So they don't have to go out there and be like a starving rock band that has to perform at coffee shops on coffee tables in order to, ride around in their mother's van. By the time the record goes, TikTok crazy or whatever it is, they just get up there and the record is what the record is. But the difference is, Kat taught me, said, some people can only perform when they have a hot record. Some people cannot put a record out for 3 years and still go out and perform and do hot shows. Still be a valuable show commodity. That's the difference. Some people only go as far as their record go. You know what I'm saying? And then some people, they within themselves are the draw.
Do you think? Yeah, it's the artist versus when they're the artist versus just the person putting music out. Well, do you think that's why there is a respect for people who have been in the game a long time now, because isn't like, oh, my song went on TikTok, it's like, no, I've put in my time and my effort, my 10,000 hours, I've worked that, I can put it in.
Yeah, put that pain in. You grew 1 to 100, 100 to 1,000, and then 1,000 to 100,000, so on and so forth. So that core following, they feel a connection with you, that they're growing with you. But that's why I never understood why dudes do fake followers, and all that stuff. Listen, I'd rather have 1,000 followers, so I know when I go to a show, 100 people, 10% are gonna come see me at the show. You got 100,000, 500,000 followers, you go to the show and there's 200 people. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You need to, you need to grow it organically, at least in my opinion.
Well, you've had, longevity, and you've had like a solid fan base throughout, even through the ups and downs and everything. Like, you've had, at least I came in late. Coming in 2010 for me was late, but even then, like, you've had people following your career. Yeah,
man, it's a blessing. Especially for the records I was on that were huge. I've stood in front of 15,000, 20,000 people, and I've stood in front of 150 people. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what you're doing at the moment and how your growth is moving at the moment. But it's all energy. It's all incredible for me.
What made you want to push solo? Like, go for a solo career? Because all of your albums were great, beforehand, but also post.
Solo, my partner in the group, the Rangers, he didn't have the desire for it in that fashion anymore. He does videos and a bunch of other stuff. Super talented guy, plays live guitar. But sometimes, the industry takes the when it loses the purity of the music. Some people who are so talented and so musically inclined, it's like, I only have time for the rest of it. You know what I mean? They don't have time for the rest of it. They don't want to deal with it. So it puts a little strain on people like that. For me, I'm with it all. You know what I'm saying? I stand tall on my principles and who I am. You know what I mean? And I get busy. So I'm like, man, what's up? Whatever the tips for, it may, but I'm in this thing to the weird shit.
Did you ever feel like there was a time when you're like, the business is too much, like it's getting too much for me?
Well, the business it's always had moments where it's stressful. But nah, man, I still feel like, man, fuck, if it's not a dime in it, I want to rap. Like, sometimes I just wake up and I'll call a term. You be like, what's up? Like, I want to rap, man. What's up? You know what I mean? Me and my man Source Money, we got this thing called the God Hour, which I'm going to be doing soon on Wais P Wednesdays. But yeah, that's like anytime between 7 a.m. and like 9 a.m., one of us might call you. And you got to be ready. I just call, you know what I'm saying? And then he'd call me, and if you ain't up, if he call, like you miss a call, and you don't call right back, the next day he'd be like, yo, you slipped. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping each other just sharp, just rap. So that's like if I ran a Fortune 500 internet company, I would still call him 7:30. You know what I mean? So that I don't think that's going anywhere for me.
Do you have like a daily routine?
No, man, it's just life. All my music comes from life, man. I feel like if some people are what they say introverts, they like to be by themselves and meditate, and that gets the best out of them. I like chaos. I like to fall asleep with the TV on, preferably Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying? I like to fall asleep with the TV on. I like to be around people. I draw energy from human beings. The beautiful struggle, the beautiful life of human beings. So I could sit in the room and, it's 35 people in the room. I'm still by myself because I'm keeping everything going on and I'm crafting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way I bounce off of somebody's energy, I'm crafting at that moment.
I totally agree. And the way that like I want to be able to live experiences that then tell about instead of like with my comedy. But it's like I like to live experiences, live my life, and then tell people about and they can learn instead of like, what can I think of while I'm sitting here to then teach you? Because I don't know, I want to live an exciting life. I don't want at the end to look back and be like, damn, why did I waste all that time? You know?
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say meditating because I wake up and meditate every morning because that's my like the one time of peace. Because I love chaos too. Like right after I'm done meditating, I'll fucking light up a joint. That's the chaos starts. But
see, that tells me I know your blood pressure is regulated properly. Meditating in a blunt, you are in nice Zen moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get up and I'm moving. I'm immediately moving and go work out, and then I'm trying to move. Like I don't keep alcohol in the house.
Mhm.
Like I drink outside. Like I gotta be out doing that, or I just won't drink. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Yeah.
You know, I smoke from time to time, but I'm not much of a smoker because I think smoking a lot of time is a meditating, personable moment, reflecting.
Yeah, you have a lot of energy. I feel like, cut out for a second. There we go.
Yeah,
you
sorry
have
about that.
no problem. I feel like you smoking would bring you down. It would like you have with me. I feel very high energy, anxious. So when I smoke, I'm like, all right, people can deal with me now because I'm too hyper. I'm like the fucking Tasmanian devil or some shit.
Hold on, I think my earpiece died.
No problem. I can hear you.
There you
Are
go.
we good? Perfect.
Yeah, I think I just got in trouble. DJ K Slade just called my phone. I had to hang up on him.
Oh shit! Shout out DJ K Slade.
Are you? So be like, you sent me the voicemail.
You're like, oh, in a minute. I'm getting bucked up right now. Dude, what do you have coming? What's your next? What do you have coming down the pipe? I mean, you just put out a project, but
got the video for No Good For Me coming. Shooting the video for Tears for Gucci after that. That's gonna be a big video. Jesus. There you go. The low battery mode. Yeah, so that's gonna be a big video. Then after that, I got a whole project coming with Derek D. Angeletti.
Oh shit, really?
Producer Hypnotized, producer Upper Lung, Marcy, son, Money, Power, Respect. All of I can keep going. Yeah, I got a whole joint with him. I got a joint with Smoke Diz on there. Man, it's crazy. Oh man, after that, I got a whole one coming with Dame Grease. Get at me, dog. Niggas done started something. A whole slew of Rough Rider Mace hits. Then after that, I got one coming with Pete Twist, Underground. There might not even be no drums on that motherfucker. It's gonna be so good. Yeah.
You're staying busy.
I'm locked up for the year. Foot on their neck all year.
What has pushed you into this overdrive of like you're putting a ton of music out? Because, you know.
Can't do no crime no more. They won't let me pimp. You know what I mean? I went to prison. I was like, no more of that shit. Everybody, I don't like this shit. Fuck is this? Honey buns and top ramen, man. This ain't the way. So yeah, nah, man. Just doing what I love for sure. Trying to stay free and getting the people receiving me. So I'm giving it to them. And I almost forgot Chinchilla 2, me and Static.
Oh shit, Chinchilla 2.
There will be a Chinchilla 2. Static is like, Static is a guard right now, so it's gonna take me a second to get it done. But
yeah,
you're gonna get it done. We talked about it.
Are you, because you can't get in trouble anymore, do you feel like do you miss that? Or are you happy that you can now focus on music? Like you don't have another chance to not to?
No, I keep it all the way honest with you. I miss it, because it was pure for me. It was a great time. I was having fun, but this gives me a chance to focus on music a lot more. I'll agree with that. But I was focusing on it before. It was always, number one for me. Sometimes, it slid to even. You know what I'm saying? But
you got two passions. What can you do?
But yeah, it's just music now.
Do you feel like those experience, like the going to prison, do you feel like those experiences you can now use, or do you look back and you're like, fuck, those really held me back from something?
No, I got to give you my life. So when I'm taking you through my life, I'm always sprinkling that in. I'm always sprinkling, my the absence of the heart from doing it, my desire to do it, my desire not to do it. Give you the negative things that happen to it. Give you the positive things that I thought was positive, and then give you the change me also. You know what I'm saying? So wrapping that all up in a nice menagerie right there.
Is it tough being who you are, like being a known person and going away, or is it this,
Only tough part about it is I was just lying to people my whole bit. There's dudes that run down at me at the commissary like, yo, you such and such. No, I'm not. Like, y'all niggas ain't gonna have me in the yard rapping and tapping for hours, man. I'm not doing that, man. Nah, that's not me, B. I swear you. Nah, man. Nah. I didn't write one rap in almost 4 years.
Really?
Because, you know what I'm saying? It was about doing my bid. You know what I mean? It wasn't about, trying to be famous in jail. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this shit behind me, out of my life, and, come home and do what I need to do.
You do live with the chaos. That's what I'm like. 4 years off from like writing, and you come back strong. Was Chinchilla your first project back?
Yeah, first one.
You came back and fucking killed it. I mean, every single track off that album's a killer after 4 years off. Like, I don't think many people can do that.
Yeah, that was great, man. That was dope. Yeah, but one of my favorites was the Paul Wall record because
that was a great
record. Again, chaos. He was in town. He was working on something else. He came to a place called Fat Buddha Lounge, performed live. We stayed at the Fat Buddha Lounge like it's our mama crib. So they close up. We still in there, still drinking, rolling dice, smoking blunts, bugging the fuck out. By like 5 a.m, me and him in the studio making that record. So that record was organic. It wasn't like I sent it to Texas and he did it. Now, nothing wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But that record in particular, that's why he mentions Fat Buddha, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, me and Static rolling dice, watch how I break them, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit was really happening. And to me, that makes for the greatest hip hop.
I think it does too. I think that's why your music stands out, is because it, under hearing that now, it's like, oh, that makes sense. It's in the moment. It's not like this planned thing. You need the chaos with it.
Yeah. And
were you always chaos, or did you try to control it when you were younger?
Oh no, it was worse when we was younger. I said something on one of my new records. I forget what record it was. It says something about how the tour bus used to leave me because I used to be, laid up with chicks on tour back when I was young. And, it's checkout time. Everybody, when it's checkout time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, 45 people leaving, everybody leaving and shit because it's all these other acts and shit. And I'm laid up like I'm fucking, multi-platinum or some shit. Like they ain't gonna leave a nigga. Sometimes I had to catch up to that bus. Chaos.
You're like, you're riding your bicycle. Like, wait, I'm trying to. What was it like your first time back in studio after 4 years of not rapping?
I was so crazy, man. I was just so. That was the record You Never Know. Was one of the first ones. That's why I'm talking that talk. And it's this record called Signs. I don't know if you heard it. We got video. Term haven't put it out yet, but it's this record called Signs off of the Horns album with that's my second rap, Home. That's powerful. If you heard it, you can check it out.
And you recorded that your first time back?
Well, You Never Know was first, and then that. Those two were back to back. And that's my two brothers. You see how that go? Static immediately put me on the record, and then Term immediately put me on the record. Those my guys.
Damn. That must be amazing, like coming back and just feeling it again, like, and you came back strong. Was it after that? Did you just keep going?
Yeah, I had to. You ever seen Term work? Term was the hardest working man. It's show business, man. This thing got albums coming out every 3 days. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. He's like, yo, Twin, you gotta work. I was like, yeah, no doubt. But it's fun though. It's fun. You know what I mean? If it's about these raps, man, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throw all the politics out. Let's get these raps going.
That's the thing. Yeah, people like Term, when I follow their Instagram or something, I'm looking and then I'm like, I got to do more. I got to fucking keep pushing. Well, you're pushing. Like the amount of albums you just named that you're working on is like, damn, you're doing that. You're really, do you feel like because you've had so many years under your belt, you're ready to just rapid fire it off?
No, I'm a competitive motherfucker though. Terms competitive, stats competitive. I mean, source competitive. Like, I'm from that competitive shit. Like, even though I feel like I'm in my own lane, I watch a lot of cats that work that I'm proud of. You know what I'm saying? They put out 6-7 joints a year, even if it's only an EP, 6 songs. That's a lot of work because I know we'll do 12 to 15 to pick 6. You know what I'm saying? So 6 good ones. So. I'm proud of a lot of cats that's out there working. And I love the fact that, now with the independent thing, I don't have to, I'm distributed by EQ, which is under Roc Nation, but, I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's so cool that you can still be affiliated with Roc and stay independent and do your own thing after all these years, like that's what I mean. Like I knew you have your feature, like your song off of Jay-Z's album is one of my favorite Jay-Z songs of all time.
Thank you.
And I didn't even know that was you until probably like 2012, honestly, like, because I was young, but that you've had a long career in that shit. And it's cool that you can stay consistent and work with the same people after all these years, Yeah,
well, Bleak called me when I came home. So as soon as I announced, what happened was I announced the Chinchilla album. Bleak hit me. He's like, yo, man, if you're going to do it with us. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, shit, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And also, when it comes to the whole, the record I did with Jay-Z, I got the Grammy, but I don't run around screaming it to the hills as if to validate me. No, I want you to listen to what I'm doing right now. I want you to listen to what I'm doing right now. Respect what I'm doing right now. And then we can talk about that. A lot of people try to like use that shit to get them in places. I don't even mention it. If you wouldn't have brought it up, I wouldn't have brought it up. So that's probably why you took it to 2012 to hear about it, because before that, I was talking about the fact that I worked with the amazing CeeLo Green over a Primo beat. That's never been done before. You know what I'm saying? No. So I was screaming that shit. Then I was working with Devin the Dude. And no New York nigga no New York nigga had did that at the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was screaming that shit.
And now you got Son of a, and it's like, that's that's all you should scream about, because that album needs to be heard. Like I was watching your documentary on it, and it was like, you'll send it to you just need people to hear, like you just want people to hear it, because once they hear it, they're like, oh shit, yeah, that's what it is.
That's the only way you could not like this album is if you ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's it. I don't understand. It's like not liking, it's like not liking Nirvana. You know what I'm saying? It smells like Teen Spirit on that. What was that? Nevermind album. It's like not liking Rumors. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Pink Floyd?
Yeah, Pink Floyd.
So, like, some shit is what it is, man. It is fire. You can't not like it unless you didn't hear.
Well, is it hard to adapt to the new era of music with the flooded market, or are you're sticking in your own lane doing your own thing?
No, I listen to cats. It's not hard for me to adapt. What do you mean, as far as with the different sounds of music?
No, I guess who are like are you listening to new artists? Like, are you seeing what the new sound is? Because like Son of a, the beats are all so unique, and it isn't like anything else, but it fits perfectly in this era of music.
Yeah, no, I listen to cats, but I'll study what a cat is doing to see, okay, well, he's dope. He's dope. Oh, I like this sound. This is a new sound. But that's they shit. That's y'all shit. So before people ask me, like, what do you listen to before you do an album? Like, I'll go listen to like the Gap Band. You know what I'm saying? I'll listen to old shit just to make sure my closet is pure before I go in. Because I don't, you can accidentally, make something that sounds like someone else. You know what I mean? Because you've been listening to the motherfucker all day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I kind of like clear your palate before you taste the next wine.
Did you mean to do that? I mean, you did do it, but was that the purpose of choosing such, I keep saying unique, but such different beats on every different beat on Son of a is a completely different sound and so unique and killer, but it's not, you can cover a whole array of sounds and still make it work through one project.
Yeah, but the attempt was to be different, definitely. Also, I can't take all the credit. Team Demo, the production team, they're in a great space, and they're just as crazy as me. That's why I like working with them. You know what I'm saying? So
that come together.
Huh?
Team Demo, how'd that come together?
Oh well, my business manager, Re-Rock, he's out of the DMV. I love the DMV. I used to go down there anyway, just to hang out, chill. And I met these cats. Yeah, I met these cats, and they was dope. I mean, this is before they did the big records, the 50 Cent records, the Sean Price records that they did. I was already fans of them, and they just have come so far musically that I'm riding that way too.
Yeah, well, you were a pioneer in blending, not having you're a New York rapper, but you would follow, as you said, you loved E40, Too Short, you love the Houston rappers, DMV, like you don't stick to just New York. You like to switch around and go between areas and switch styles, but still stick to your roots. I would say beat wise, but you stick to the roots of New York still. Yeah,
that's I think that's how you grow and expand mentally, is being able to travel. And I always said if there was a foundation that I decided to start, it would be so people that are less fortunate could travel outside of where they live at. Because I think that is what people need to grow as human beings. Because when I was young, I thought everything was the corner. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a star on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when girls walk by and drank 40s, and everybody got fresh to death, spend all this money on clothes to go stand on the corner. Because that's what it was, in Brooklyn. So, as I traveled and so, I'm like, look, there's a whole world out here. You know what I'm saying? And that shit. So I think, I try to do that musically.
You do. You do it musically. Is there, like, how do you think people can, other than music? Do you think it's easier now for people to realize that there's a bigger world out there than what you're seeing around you? Or do you think people are
motherfucking internet? Internet. You got slangs, before New York slang would be totally, you say some New York shit in the Bay, and they'd be like, what the fuck is you talking about? And then the Bay would say some shit, and New York, like, what the fuck does that mean? Now with the internet, 85% of that shit, you already know what it means, because, you see how these cats is moving out here. You see how these cats are moving. So you're hearing the slangs, the different styles of dress. So now it's a whole big mashup.
Yeah. Well, you were doing that before the internet. You were, what made you, when were you first in like Houston? Like how did you get that sound? Or when were you first in the Bay?
I first went to Seattle. I give my credit to Seattle. Seattle put me on to Too Short in the Bay Area. And then I went out there. So that was the beginning, Seattle. And then after that,
how old were you when you went to Seattle?
13. I want to say 13, 14. I was only there for a year. And I came back and niggas was like, what the fuck is this cat talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Brought you to Seattle?
Well, I went out there. I had got into some, I had gotten locked up in New York. You know, my pops was out there. I didn't know the motherfucker, so I'm like, he sent me this cat, I don't even know. But he took me in for a little bit. Of course, we ain't get along and started getting in trouble out there. How you get in trouble in Seattle is tough. We wasn't in a bad neighborhood at all. I was finding fucked up shit to do. But
chaos, you gotta do it.
And you know, I started to, you know, venture off into the places you're not supposed to be at back then, and I started learning about their music and the shit they was listening to. But there wasn't a big Seattle scene other than Mix-a-Lot. I think a nigga named Kid Fresh or something like that. And so everything was from LA, and a lot from Texas was coming in. For some reason, it was coming in. So they were getting Bay Area, LA, Texas, in Seattle. So I chilled there for a little bit. By the time I came back, I was already talking about a whole bunch of shit, a whole bunch of artists that these cats never knew about.
Do you think about like that year kind of changed the trajectory of your life? Like you finding all those sounds, you like that really, that year created kind of the roots to what you were able to do later in life.
Yeah, that was part of it. That had a profound effect on me musically.
When was your first step into the music industry? How old were you?
18, and that was Profile Records with a record called Street Life.
You were 18. How do you get found before the age of the internet? Like when you were 18?
Yeah. Performed everywhere we go, battled. We used to get calls. Like somebody would come to your crib and knock on your door, call your mama crib and say, yo, it's these cats, I'm in Crown Heights. Yo, it's these cats down in Red Hook Projects. These cats is nice. You can't fuck with them. What? Bring them. So we go down there, 6, 7 deep. We in the projects surrounded about 40 motherfuckers. Rapping. Niggas calling cats out the window. Hey yo, come down here. He just slayed such and such. We need you, son. Come downstairs. Like people coming downstairs. Most of the time it was love, and you just really rapping your way out of a battle zone. You know what I mean? But then, you know, it's been some places cats try to move on us. They didn't take their losses too well. You know what I mean? Well, you had to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's from that, and then your name start to build, and then I was very aggressive, and you know, I would go anywhere, man, and rap with anybody, and stand outside the radio station and tell people, yo, I'm nice, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And go from there. What made you
believe in yourself that much? Like at an early age where you're like, fuck it, I'll go anywhere, I'll battle anyone.
Self-confidence, partners. You know, I came from a block of cats that just couldn't wait to tell you was trash. You know what I mean? Like, okay, wait, he gonna be trash today. And then you not to the point where they like, that's cat's nice. You know what I'm saying? So.
Is it different like when you're doing the battle raps and all that, then you're like, all right, I gotta make an actual song now?
No, I didn't know shit about making a song. I remember the first time I went in to make a song, that verse was about 52 bars. I didn't know nothing about no song structure, none of that. I was just young and ready to do what rap? Let's just go. I had to be taught that.
Did it take a long time to like figure that out, or is that an easy thing to like? I don't really know about the music industry, especially back then. Like, did they have to teach? Like, how do you learn how to make a song? Do you just repeat?
I never knew what a hook was, what a bridge was, a 16 bar rhyme scheme. You know, they had to tell me, you know, this is what you do, this is how you do it, and then this is how it becomes a song. You know what I mean? So
how long did that take you? Like when you When you
Oh no,
first
I took to it quick because, you know what I mean? The first time I actually got paid to rap. I was like, are you serious? So
you remember how much it was?
I could do it, y'all. I could do it the right way. Yeah.
You remember how much your first paycheck for rap was?
Nah, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't.
No.
A lot. We did something for like a compilation on Freeze Priority Records. This is before. That's actually before Profile. Damn, that was it's like maybe 6 months before. I think we made. We split up a couple thousand. So it's probably like $600-700. I was young. That was a lot of money to me at the time. Just the fact that I got enough rap. You know what I'm saying? I had made that before. You know, it was still a lot of money then, but I was selling crap. You know, you know, brown paper bag money. You know, the little, you know, Jordans, and, you know, gold chain shit back then. You know, so to get it from rappers, I like this.
Well, the first time I was $300. The first time I actually got paid an amount of money to perform, and you don't get taught. Like, it's weird that no one tells you that you can make money off of that. I don't know. Like, no one really tells you that. Like, you have to kind of find it yourself. You know what I mean? And when you first get that money, it's like, oh shit, I can act like this is actually something that I can do. Like, there is enough money out there for me, for my knowledge to be a commodity.
Yeah. Once you figure it out.
Exactly.
Keep pushing.
Well, was it when you first signed, was it like, damn, I made it, or was it a completely different thing than what you thought it was going to be?
No, you thought I was, I was young too. All I was thinking about was girls. Like, I'm gonna get all the girls I never got before. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought, you think it's all milk and gravy.
Yeah.
Then the business of it starts to issues. And that's you like, oh, okay.
How'd you know? When did you know that there were some snakes in it? Like, what was the first sign that it wasn't all that it seemed?
I remember this profoundly. I went to a radio station. I won't say which one, right? I went to a radio station and I'm like, okay, this is what it is. They play the records that's hot. If the record's good, they can play it. That's how this shit works. And then I realized the Easter Bunny wasn't real. You know what I'm saying? Because it was this paper on the wall that had each and every record that they had to play. Like, had to play. And I'm looking and I could count, I could divide, man. I'm looking at it, I'm like, this motherfucker only got an hour on. How you gonna play all these 30-something records and still get another record in? He can't. He might be able to squeeze one in. But his boss got all these, they say must play, must play, must play. I said, oh shit, this ain't fair. And that's what I love about where the music is right now. You don't even need terrestrial radio. It's not necessary. Do
you think the best music was being put out because of that? Like, now I feel like if there's artists that if you find them, you realize that they can make amazing music. Like, if someone is listening to Son of a, like, oh shit, there's real rap being put out now. But back then, was it like these businesses were deciding who was being put on? Yes, and it still is to a point. But yeah. You got a lot of people who got stifled back in the days because they weren't part of what the label's plan was at that moment, or somebody who was the button pusher had a different. I'm sorry, man, my battery is dying. All good. We're almost done. But yeah, it just keeps blanking out, telling me 10% shit. So, but that shit, there's a lot of good brothers that didn't get the light that I was like, damn, he was supposed to be this. This one was supposed to be that. But something happened, some kind of politics. They just weren't in the plan moving forward. Some executive was trying to run up the numbers with his 3-4 artists that he knows goes platinum all the time because he wants to go to another company. So he's not spending any money on a new artist because if he doesn't do the numbers,
it fucks up his negotiation, with another company. Shit like that always happens.
Yeah. What did you tell yourself to not give up, like to keep going when that shit was happening to you?
Because it was just like, I knew what my job was. My job was to spit. My job ain't to worry about the rest of that. You know what I'm saying? My job is to spit. You know what I mean? I knew that was something, that's a losing battle at that point in my life. You know what I mean? So let me just do my job. Every time I get a chance, let me just go on.
Yeah. And it shows the artists that you work with and that if you do just stick to it, it's consistency plus time equals success. Like you have to do your best work and be consistent outwork everyone else, you know? Mm-hmm. Like you just have to outwork and outthink everyone else. But I really appreciate you coming on. It's an honor to talk to you, and it was really awesome talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Buckman. You know what I'm saying? Sam Buck.
I appreciate. Do you want to plug your shit, your social media, where to find your stuff?
Yes. WaisPmusic.com. That's WAISP music.com. Same thing at Bandcamp. But you go to my shit. We got the Son of a t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? We got the Son of a
I love great artist who did it.
We got the Son of a hoodie with the Wais P on the back, and it's the marshmallow puff letters of the 3D raised quality shit. You know what I'm saying? We got CDs on there. I got CDs and vinyl coming. A Son of a, got the past stuff, stickers, all of that, man. Come be a part of the movement, man. It's gonna be a long ride. We just getting started. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to listen to everything that you come out, and everyone really who's listening, check out Son of a. It's a great album. Go back and check out all of Wais's albums, and also shout out Pat Quinn he killed that cover. He's a great artist, and he killed that cover.
I keep telling my man, he's gonna be hard to get on the phone after in a little while. He's doing all the hot shit.
Doing that. Did he just hit you up? How'd you meet up with him? How'd you get that cover?
Again, I'd love to take credit for that, man, but we rock, you know what I'm saying? Our business manager, he said, this is the guy. He sent me some stills of his work. I said, this dude is different. Yeah, let's fuck with him. And then
he's a great artist, and it matched perfect.
He did, but we gave him free reign to do what he wanted to do with it. Artistically, we didn't want to say, yo, we want this. Nah, go do what you do, and let's see what you come back with. And he came back with that. Shit, I'm about to get paintings made. I'm about to get a rug. Yeah.
You've done it. It matches the album perfectly. The cover, it really does. It really matches. But thank you so much. You're a legend. It's an honor to talk to you, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Let's do it again.